This is Che Ryan Smith with Donda's House, hanging out with Big Sean Anderson Foundation. And today we're representing education, information, and community outreach. How you doing today, bro?
That was pretty good, man. I'm doing good. I'm straight. I'm happy to be here, you know what I mean? It's cold outside, but...
Coming from LA.
Yeah, I came from LA, man. I was in Detroit where it was cold for the holidays. Flew back to LA, you know what I'm saying? I've been working on my project, mixing it and stuff out in LA. And I was at the beach yesterday with my brother, and now we in Chicago, cold.
Man, you know, you say you working on your project, and with your new single, you know, that's coming out. What do you say about, like, how do you title the single? You know what I'm saying? Without saying, I don't give about you, like.
Man, you know, it's crazy because it was just a song. We didn't look at it as a single. It just kind of took a life of its own. You know, we put like a few songs out. When we put that song out, we put 4 songs out at once. And it was just the people chose that one. So the label saw that, you know, started picking up on radio. It just kind of like, it kind of took a life of its own. You feel me? So I didn't really think about that. You know?
But it's so personal. And like, you know, the fact that it's so personal, yet it's so like commercially viable. Yeah. Like, how do you make that happen? Weird. That's hard for artists to do that.
It's really weird. I didn't try and do it. It just happened. I just kept it real, man. I just had to rap about, as an artist, it's your responsibility, and I've been making it more of my responsibility to really just take your emotions you go through and just make do it how the best you can do it. You know, put it towards your craft and just let the people, you know, live to it. If they can relate to it, let them relate to it. Let them vibe to it. You know, if they like it.
Would you consider yourself a people person? Like, there are a lot of artists that are good at entertaining, but are not people.
Yeah, I'm a people person, man, because I care about people. Genuinely care about people, on camera, off camera.
Is that where your music comes from?
Whatever.
Do you think does your music come from, you know, tapping the pulse of people, or is it just the pulse of you? So some people will say, man, I can make music because I know what people want. Some people say, I know what I feel. Like, where does your music come from?
A little bit of both. I somewhat know what people want, you know what I mean? Nobody can really understand what people want unless you're that person. You know, everybody got their own opinion. You know, it's not like people are sheep, you know what I'm saying? But I just give them how I feel, and like I've just been getting the hang of it more and more and more. You know what I mean? It's something that you get better at. It's something that over time that, like you said, when we had a conversation across the room, you were saying like, man, you put 4 years in something, you're going to graduate no matter what it is. You know what I mean? So I've been putting, you know, 4, 5, 6 years. You know, I might just be going for my master's. You know what I mean?
You going for your PhD, man. You know, so today we're here with Donda's House, the Sean Anderson Foundation, YCA, and we're not performing or rapping, but we're giving information. You're really paying it forward, telling people what it is that makes you successful. Do you feel a need, or is there a need for you to give back, to talk to other young artists coming up the way you was coming up?
Yeah, of course. But I believe in karma. You know what I'm saying? I believe what you give comes back to you. And I want to give knowledge. And even if it doesn't come back to me, as long as I just, you know, what's the point of knowing something, or what's the point of going through something if you can't tell somebody and let it affect them, feel me? So whether that's on the music, whether it's on a CD, whether it's in person, you know, the people who shared their stories with me early on, and people who told me what they went through and showed me things, and you know, I probably saved a lot of hardship, saved a lot of struggle by the knowledge somebody else gave me. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be an OG. That's not the way of like an honorable person if you don't give it back. You know what I mean? If you don't give what you learn back. And
how do you determine exactly what or how to give back? So some people, you know, people will pull you in 50 different directions. Yeah. You should do this. You should spend your money here. You should do it like this. How do you determine how you give back?
Whatever feels right, whatever feels best, you know. That's why I got like a great mom who always is in my ear telling me, you know, what she thinks, or giving me her opinion and helping me with like my foundation, you know what I mean? Ways we give back to the city, give back to the schools.
With the Sean Anderson Foundation?
Man, we've done a lot of things. We've done starting, one of the first things we did was we helped families who couldn't afford Thanksgivings, who couldn't afford Christmases. We paid for their holidays, for, you know, definitely Thanksgiving turkeys and stuff like that. But as far as education, we felt Detroit Public Schools obviously is one of the most, you know, the most depressed school systems, you know what I mean? Just as far as like needing school supplies, needing this, needing that. So one time we linked up with Office Depot and a business school at U of M, and we gave away 4,500 backpacks full of school supplies already. You know, one time we helped the kids who couldn't afford uniforms and couldn't, you know, thus couldn't go to school. We paid for their uniforms. The only reason they got uniforms is because they don't get made fun of. You know what I mean? You know, and a lot of people couldn't do that. Yeah, they couldn't even afford that. So, you know, and I paid for that out of my pocket. That was when we was first getting started. So, you know, it's stuff that we do for the city. We do an event probably about every month and a half, something to just give back. And, you know, Ford has been very helpful. Like Office Depot, just a lot of people in the community who are willing to give back have been teaming up with us, and we've been making some leaps and bounds in the city for sure.
Do you think, you know, a lot of people say, man, if I could just get a record deal, if I could just have a successful album, and a lot of people don't know what it takes to keep having that, like the pressure of staying on top once you get somewhere. How have you experienced that pressure of like not only getting somewhere, but staying in that position and not falling?
I mean, you go through ups and downs. You just gotta stay unique, and you know, I don't know, man. It's just it's tough. I don't know what's tougher, to get on and get noticed or to stay on.
What was tougher for you, or what is tougher for you? Because you know what your struggle was to get there.
Yeah.
And then you know what your struggle is to like keep making, you know, music that people gravitate to, and you keep winning, you know. So, but you know what your particular struggle is. Which one was tough?
Yeah, man, that's tough, man. I don't know. They both, you know, getting on. It's like the craziest thing about not having anything and being in your mom's room and like just having the vision in your head. It's like, how do you get from this point of laying in your mom in the bed that you grew up in? For me, it was the room I spent my whole life in, and I was like out of high school now. How do I get there to becoming a successful artist, a platinum artist, having a fan base? You know what I mean? Like, and that was a really, I don't want to say it was difficult. You just had to get in the right mindset. So it's just like letting yourself go and just like being receptive, letting go of any blocks you got. It's like it's a real spiritual thing. And that wasn't, I can't say that was difficult because I did it. You know, I never want to say something was difficult after I conquered it, because
it could have been challenging.
It was challenging. It wasn't difficult, but it was great though. It made me who I am. It was a beautiful struggle, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. Now it's different. Now it's like people, I don't know. Now, you know what? Now I want to take it to another level. You know, I'm not satisfied, and I just want more. I see bigger things for myself. I just want to keep progressing and keep going up, and you know, I'll let you know how that goes.
I'll let you know how it goes.
I'll let you know which one was harder.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna ask two more questions. That you know, right now, and when you make music, like you say, you have to keep keep on the pulse of people, but we see a lot of things going on around the country where hands up, don't shoot. We see protesters in Ferguson, police brutality. Has this changed the way you make music at all? I mean, and what do you think about like young people rising up and resisting in the end of 2014, coming into 2015, the resistance?
Yeah, it has changed the way I make music. This new album I have. You know, I think before I was looking at music in the sense of I want to be on, I want to be like famous, you know, I want to be like popular, I want to be on the radio. And this is the first album where I came from the perspective of I just want to like tell my story. I want to like tell people what I've been going through this past year and a half, the ups and downs I've been going through, and you know, really just telling them about different parts of my life. And that includes, you know, when I was sitting there with Ye and everybody, and we were looking at what was going on in Ferguson, or when I was sitting there, you know, with my grandma who just passed, and we were looking at, you know, what was going on with Mike Brown, and how that wasn't, you know, fairly dealt with at all. You know what I mean? So it's just like those moments I definitely have incorporated in my music more, and have just been more aware, more conscious, and I'm proud of myself, man, for that. You know, I don't know if anybody else is, but at least I'm really proud to really think more and put my heart more into it and give back to in any ways I can, you know.
And then last question. So you hear...
But I do think that movement is great. I do think people, you know, taking their, you know, not other people's lives, but just taking a responsibility in their own hands and just handling it and showing them that this isn't a age where we just sit at home on the internet, where we in our home. Like, we know we get out here in the streets when things are right. We'll protest. We'll, you know, cause tantrums. We'll, you know, I'm not saying I agree or disagree with, you know, tearing up buildings and all that type of stuff, but I do agree with standing up for something when you don't think it's right.
Last question. You know, you're here, you're giving information, you're telling us what you think, you're helping to educate other people. In terms of people resisting, protesting, what do you think about, some people say, man, we need to deal with this with electoral politics. So you look at Ferguson, for instance, 50 of the 53 officers are white, the mayor's white, but the town is black. Do you believe that electoral politics can help change the situations in the inner cities? And you from a city where the majority of politicians are black.
Yes, I definitely think that. I think if anything that we have power to control, or that we have a voice in, like, it makes a difference no matter what it is, whether it's voting, whether it's protesting, whether it's rhyming, yeah, music, whether it's anything you give your energy to is going to make a difference no matter what. That's just like a common law. That's like a spiritual law. You know what I mean?
So and it's a both and, not an either or.
Yeah, and if you give your attention to Twitter and Instagram, then you're gonna have a good Twitter and good Instagram. You know what I mean? But that ain't where it's at, though, man. You know, that ain't where it's at at all.
Well, we look forward to the new album coming out. About when can we expect the new album to drop?
You can expect it. Like I said, we mixing it right now. A lot of the mixes are done. A few more songs to go. So, you know, we're gonna announce the day soon, and yeah, we got like a good idea. I want to do it in a special way, so it's coming soon. It's literally for real coming soon. Like, not like in like 5-6 months. It's like coming soon, like next couple months. Yeah.
Well, man, we want to thank you for being here, man. Spending time with our kids, man. Yeah, it's all good. It's real.
It's one of like my second home. You know what I mean? Really? Chi-Town. Yeah. So I got love. You know.
Well, you got
Garrett's
family.
Popcorn. You know, my mama. That's her favorite thing in the whole world. Yeah. So they just built. Yeah, we just built one in Michigan, but now. You know, but that was her thing. Every time I touched down in Chicago, or she had to pass through Chicago, she had to get like a big couple weeks supply of Garrett's Popcorn.
Your mom's gonna be here tonight too.
Yeah, she's gonna be here tonight. She had to come to Chicago. She had to find a reason to come.
That's all good. Well, man, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, bro. That's up.